testing is done. We did a crawling test. I mean, we followed the same path. And then we did a pull test. And Trusty Rusty kicked ass at the off-road section. As far as speed, I didn't do that. But this one is definitely a lot faster because Trusty Rusty has crawler gears in it. Now in first gear, it's pretty similar. And we did the pull test, which you saw, and walked all over it. Now, the Fcx18 has a larger battery, and it also has more weight. So obviously, Trusty Rusty had it was pretty much a done deal before the rope got tight. So that being said, I mean, there's benefits to both and there's disadvantages to both. Trusty Rusty has a little less power, and Flat Nasty has a little more. As far as ground clearance, they're about the same. However, Trusty Rusty did a lot better at the same course. Cut the time in half, essentially, and I didn't have to rescue him. Flat Nasty, however, you can see in the video, had to straighten him out. So, at the end of the day, I figure they're fairly evenly matched to a certain extent, because Trusty Rusty does better at the trails and the crawling section, but this one has more weight, more power. Now, it's not to say Flat Nasty doesn't do, I mean, you can do about the same amount of stuff, tackle the same terrain. It's just the Fcx18 is going to be, you're going to take more time at it. You're going to have more tries. You're going to have to pay a little more attention to your wheel, where your tires are at, and different things. And I don't know if it's because the shorter wheelbase, I'm sure helps, but in some places the longer wheelbase helps. So, like you saw coming up the hill, Trusty Rusty had a little bit of an issue getting started, but once he got started, pretty much blew through everything. Now, Flat Nasty took off, and I think it has to do with the weight and the power. But they're both decent crawlers. They're both good crawlers. If I had to choose between the two, which one I would rather have, that's a toughie. It really is, because they're both great trucks. Both great trucks. So this is box stock, and he's been modified some. I've got the links, brass diff covers, front and rear. I got the crawler gears, bigger with different wheels and tires. More light. That's one thing that helps Trusty Rusty is there's more light, but I can always add more to this one. I've got different shocks in this one. They're a little bit taller. A little nicer spring in them. I mean, there's some spring there, and there's less on this. And they're both full, and they both have 20 weight oil on them. The longer wheelbase in some cases does kill it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It has a little bit tougher time, and I think it's mostly because of the wheelbase, and it gets hung up on the boxes and stuff. A little smaller tire. But like I said, if you put them side by side and look, they pretty much got the same height up front. The only thing is, like I said, this one has pores. This one doesn't. So, I don't know. The thing I like about Traxxas though is the clipless body mounts. The two little, you just pop the body off. This, there's no getting the body off unless you take the screws out underneath. Upgrades are easier to do on a Trx4m. They're more of a pain in the ass than an Fcx18. Prime example, shocks in their own individual spot. The shocks and the links are connected. And I have yet to figure out how to change those out because I'd like to upgrade the shocks on these. Now I have seen people put Traxxas, the high trail shocks on these. But all in all, they're pretty much evenly matched. But if you're really looking to upgrade something, it's a little cheaper. You know, half the truck and half the upgrades are what I've gotten this with just box stock. So, I guess 6 of one, half does the other. Coolness factor, they're both pretty evenly matched. Both bodies are equally detailed. The only thing that this one has is your badges and things. This one has better lights. Even if these two are not in there, the lights on a high trail are way fucking better. Way better. The other thing too is this one has brake lights. This one has the lights, but you can't really see them very much when the brake is on. This one you can see clear as day. But yeah, parts are also more readily available for these as far as upgrades on the Traxxas. So it really is 6 of one, half of the other. But if you're getting into crawling and you want to buy an 18 scale and you're torn between these two trucks, I'd say get the Traxxas. And that's not to say this isn't bad. This is a great truck. It really is. But if you're looking to get into crawling, you want to do upgrades, get that. It's a better performer on the trail. Not to say this one's horrible. It is certainly not the worst one I've ever seen. The Panda is terrible compared to either one of these. Now, the Tarantula would blow both of them out of the water. So, yeah. But, like I said, if you're just starting to get into crawling, you can't choose between these two, get the high trail first. Get that where you want it, and then go and get this. Because you have a chance with winning a competition with this. I'm a firm believer in that. This one, not quite so much. The one thing I will say is the Fcx18 is a lot less tippy. Believe it or not, from the video, whatever, this one seems to be a little less tippy. And I think it's because it's got more weight down below. But it's also got weighted rings in the wheels and stuff too. And that's the way I got it. This is box stock. I haven't changed anything on it from when I pulled it out of the Fair RC box. So, but they're both good trucks. They both look really good. They both perform pretty good. But like I said, you saw in the video, this does better off-road in a lot of ways. I mean, I had a little issue getting started up that hill, but it went through everything just fine. This one went up the hill just fine and struggled in a couple spots. But they both have strengths and both have weaknesses, so. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.